and welcome back to Military Law Talks. I apologize for my not posting for a while. I had a medical emergency relating to my eye. That's why I got to rock the glasses today and for the foreseeable near future. So today I just wanted to post a video about potential hiring freezes, potential cuts to the DoD, and well, we got some generals that got fired. So let's get into it. All right, I'm going to share my screen. And so kind of different from this SecDef than any other SecDef. Pete Hegseth obviously was on Fox News. So he's very comfortable in front of the camera. And so he's been creating video messaging to tell the force, to go direct to this force, direct to the American public. And so I'm going to play a clip from a video that was posted on Thursday, so February 20th.
And the third and final bogus story that is out there is around our reevaluation of our probationary workforce. Now, this is part of something that was mandated by an executive order from the president. Remember, President Trump was elected. He has the prerogative to advance executive orders. Our job is to follow them, and we're doing that. This reevaluation of probationary employees is being done across government, not just at the Defense Department, but we believe in the goals of the program, and our leaders are carrying out that review carefully and swiftly. Now, bottom line, it is simply not in the public interest to retain individuals whose contributions are not mission critical, and to restore accountability within the federal workforce. Taxpayers deserve to have us take a really thorough look at our workforce top to bottom, and it will be top to bottom, to see where we can find and eliminate redundancies. Now, common sense would tell us where we should start, right? We start with poor performers amongst our probationary employees, because that is common sense and you want the best and brightest. So when you look at headcount, we're going to be thoughtful, but we're also going to be aggressive up and down the chain to find the places where we can ensure the best and brightest are promoted based on merit. And then we're going to go out, and we're going to put out a hiring freeze and take more time to identify on a performance-based standard who we're going to hire and reward hard-working employees who are central to the core warfighting mission. So we're going to take a little bit more time, make sure top to bottom we're doing a review. Those who we need, who are the best and brightest, are going to stay. Those who are underperformers won't. We'll continue to shoot straight with you. We've got your back. We're motivated to rebuild the most capable military in the world. That's why I'm here. That's what the president has asked me to do. But doing so does require tough decisions, and we are prepared to make them. But in the process, we want to communicate with you directly rather than through the filter of media outlets. And it's not just going to be me. You're going to see Sean Parnell and Graham Allen and others here in the department aggressively ensuring you get the real info in real time, helping you understand what's really going on at the department. So our warfighters and taxpayers deserve, of course, no less than that. And we'll keep reporting back to you from time to time what we're seeing, and we appreciate your support. We're not going to get everything perfect, but we're going to do it earnestly, and we're going to do it on behalf of President Trump's leadership in making our military once again the most lethal, badass fighting force on the planet to keep our country safe. God bless you, and we're going to keep fighting.
Okay, and you can find that on defense.gov. All right, so that was a message. He went direct to the American people, to the Department of Defense. And then there was, I'm going to take that down. There was a written message to the force about the probationary workforce. And so let's pull that one up. All right. So it's by the acting undersecretary. So it was released on Friday, February 21st. And it was in response to the video that was released by Pete Hegseth that we just watched a portion of on Thursday, February 20th. And so they're looking at probationary employees first to make some cuts. So it says that they are anticipating reducing the department's civilian force by 5 to 8%. Now, they're focused on probationary employees first because they're the easiest to fire. Essentially, by definition, they don't meet the definition of a statutory employee, which means that they do not have due process rights, which means probationary employees don't need to be notified in advance that they are going to be terminated, and they have no opportunity to respond. They also do not have appeal rights, so they can't, file an appeal with the MSPB, with the Merit System Protection Board. If they think that their termination was, erroneous or violated any of their rights. They also have very limited appeal rights to the EEOC, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. They're essentially at-will employees, which means they could be terminated for any or really no reason. And so they're looking to reduce by 5 to 8%. So it doesn't look like all probationary employees are going to be terminated, like other agencies have, but it says approximately 5,400 probationary employees will be released as early as next week. And then after that, they're going to implement a hiring freeze. So probably more to follow on that, what that hiring freeze means. Remember, previously, the Trump administration released an executive order that did announce a hiring freeze on federal agencies. However, the DoD had a blanket exemption to that initial hiring freeze due to national security concerns. So there was language in that EO that said, national security or immigration, those were exempted. And so the DoD had a blanket exemption for that initial hiring freeze, but it looks like now the DoD is going to impose its own hiring freeze, as they do, as Pete Hegseth said, kind of a top to bottom look at the workforce to reshape and to eliminate redundancies, excess personnel. So they're going to look at non-mission critical, non-mission essential employees first. That I think that likely we'll see that part of that 5,400 probationary workers. All right, so I'm going to take that down. And then, so Friday was kind of a big day for the DoD. So not only did we have that release, the potential hiring freeze, also probationary employees being terminated up to 5,400. Then we got notified that some generals got relieved, got fired. They got removed out of their position. And oftentimes those positions, that's what gives them the 3 or 4 or 5-star chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff. And so let's look at that memo. So this came out Friday evening. So Friday, February 21st. So the current chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff was relieved, removed out of his position. And so Trump announced that he was going to nominate Lieutenant General Dan Raisin Kane. He's an Air Force 3-star. So he jumped all the 4 stars and will become a 5-star. And so he would be the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. And from what I've heard, he's a really dedicated war fighter. He was part of the mission to eradicate ISIS, and Trump liked him from his first term. So he's known Lieutenant General Kane since Trump's first term. And so, as this memo says from Pete Hegseth, General Kane embodies the warfighter ethos and is exactly the leader we need to meet the moment. I look forward to working with him. And so the relieved chairman of Joint Chief of Staff was General Charles C.Q. Brown, Jr., also of the Air Force. So he was removed, and then he'll be replaced. And then here's some other generals that looks like they got relieved as well. So it says, this is a memo that I'm reading from Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense. It says, I am also requesting nominations for the positions of the Chief of Naval Operations and Air Force Vice Chief of Staff. The incumbents in these important roles, Admiral Lisa Franchetti and General James Sliff, respectfully have had distinguished careers. We thank them for their service and their dedication to our country. And we are also requesting nominations for Judge Advocate General for the Army, Navy, and Air Force. And so this was huge news in the kind of the circles I run in, right? So former military attorney, a lot of friends that are still serving or recently retired. So this was kind of big news. And so not a whole lot of reason why, a lot of concern about, why the lawyers were fired. But I have a theory. I read Pete Hegseth's book, War on Warriors, and he does not like military lawyers. So he spoke somewhat derisively about military lawyers, and that even came up in his confirmation hearing. So I'm going to play a clip from his confirmation hearing to share what I was talking about. And so he doesn't really like military lawyers. We are not created equal. Some of us are better than others. Myself, that's what I'm talking about, myself. All right, so let's watch this little clip.
But the other factor too is you've already disparaged in writing the Geneva Convention, the rules of law, all of these things. How will you be able to effectively lead a military in which one of the principal elements is discipline, respect for lawful authority? You have made statements to your platoon after being briefed by a JAG officer. Well, by the way, would you explain what a JAG off is?
I don't think I need to, sir.
Why not?
Because the men and women watching understand.
Well, perhaps some of my colleagues don't understand.
It would be a JAG officer who puts his or her own priorities in front of the warfighters. Their promotions, their medals, in front of having the backs of those who are making the tough calls on the front lines.
Thank you, Senator Reed.
Interesting.
Thank you, Senator
Thank you
Reed.
very much. But the other factor too is you've already disparaged.
Not trying to play it again. All right. So, Pete Hegseth apparently didn't have a great JAG officer. So, I don't know if that has to do with it. I've seen a lot of speculation that it may have to do with maybe vaccine mandate, maybe DEI promotion. I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. But the first thing that came to mind when I saw that the TJAGs, the Judge Advocate Generals of the three corps, Navy, Army, Air Force, that were relieved, I immediately thought of Pete Hegseth's book and kind of his, he doesn't hold Army lawyers in great high esteem. So unfortunately, we'll see. I think more to follow on the federal hiring free, the DoD hiring freeze and elimination of probationary employees. The largest union representing federal employees has filed a lawsuit. And so that is something that I'm going to cover next week. So tune in for that. Thanks for joining me. And that's all I have today. And have a great night. Thank you for joining me. And if you got any value out of the content, please like, share, and subscribe. I'm a new channel, so please help spread the word. I really appreciate your sharing this message out there. If you have any comments or questions or requests for additional content, please put them in the comments below. Thank you.